Baby Juno here with you live. You can use hashtag AJB, hashtag AMASA, hashtag AWALT. We will be featuring your questions and your comments here once we get through the snippets here of this video here. But here's the thing. Brian home from Salt Lake City to Tampa, then goes back to Gabby, according to Stephen Bertolino and what we just found out here at the top of the stream here. And then all of a sudden he's back in Tampa on September 1st. So I would imagine that if you're Cassie Laundry here, you're thinking, wait, and she's almost making this face right now in the thumbnail, like, wait, weren't you just flew back? You just flew back to be with Gabby. You're back again. You're ping-ponging back and forth here between Salt Lake City, between Utah, Wyoming, and between Florida.
Oh my God.
You're home again? What happened? What happened? Where's Gabby? Why aren't you here with Gabby?
That question, I mean, the question almost has to have been asked.
So, are you referencing the trip when he came back for those?
I'm referencing the back and forth.
Look,
on
and
the
again,
first,
we don't like to make assumptions, and I don't, you don't, but I think the general public, they're allowed to make assumptions. They don't have to follow any rules, and I think the general public is going to just assume that this. She said, Cassie said, she misses her sister. She's lost her sister-in-law. She's lost her family. I assume there's a bit of a wedge between them now. It sounds like. So I think the general public probably feels.
Sorry, my cats are like in front of me.
Just pointed out, you didn't ask about Gabby. I mean, you think you would have. It's her business. She doesn't have to tell us, but it seems like that question would have come up.
Again, they're engaged to be married. They're on this cross-country road trip. That's like, you know, whenever somebody comes over to my house and they're maybe without their husband or wife, they're like, oh, hey, where is this person?
I think this guy on the... This guy right here is so cute.
And then you,
I don't know why.
23rd, you flew back, and a week later, less than a week later, you're starting your drive back to Tampa with the white van without Gabby.
Again, ping-ponging back and forth between what was supposed to be a cross-country road trip and then coming back to Florida on multiple occasions here mid-road trip. It's interesting. It's interesting. Ready for the next clip? Masa? No.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say a question that could come up is why is she not talking to her family right now and towards the end of this 20-minute
Was Brian with... Oh, they changed it. Why aren't the parents talking to you guys? That's what somebody asked.
I saw, I can't remember the outlet, but
this is getting so big. Kind of like reminds me of the OJ case.
Let's get to the next portion here. This is the next question here that was asked. Why aren't the parents talking to you guys?
Are those his
Back
parents?
here in the next portion of this video.
Or is that his sister?
Of course, your full confrontation here is on WFLA.com and WFLA app.
If I knew, I would say, I don't know.
Yeah, that's his
If I
sister.
knew, I would say I don't know. There's clearly now a major disconnect.
Where do y'all think he
between Cassie
is?
Laundry, her husband here.
I've been watching this
and
all
her
morning.
Her parents, Chris and Roberta Laundry here, they're just not talking. And that's, again, according to Cassie Laundry, there's a divide now. We'll get into the attorney and how Stephen Bertolino kind of factors in here, but anything to note here before we get on to the next question, Masa or Paul?
I just want to say, so after she made that statement later on in the interview, she kind of gave us a little bit more context saying that the attorney told her parents to stop talking to her. So I just think it's important.
Thank you for the lights.
Thank you for pointing that out here, Masa. Again, the full video on WFLA.com, the WFLA app, and I have to repeat myself with things like that and the hashtag system here because we're always constantly engaging a new digital audience. The big revolving door, we engage a new digital audience.
I don't know, like this is getting so crazy, y'all.
Part of my job here. I don't want people to
Like the
think that I'm
case.
repeating myself because I have to, or because I want to. It's because I have to. So I'm going to continue to repeat.
Like this guy disappeared and nobody can find him.
Newly emerging here.
Usually when they disappear, like the FBI is so good and the police are so good, they can find them within like a couple hours, but they cannot find them anywhere.
My kids are upset. They're upsetting my neighbors, and all we want to do is let you guys know, because we don't know.
Sorry, I'm shaking.
All right, so before this next question comes in, and it's about Fort DeSoto and the campground here, but Cassie Laundry, Masa-in-law, saying here that she is she's in the dark just like everybody else as far as these very important questions to the Gabby Petito and Brian Laundry story here.
The question there was, do you think your parents are involved, correct?
Right.
And she I mean, it is an interesting answer.
I think their
She says
parents
she
are
doesn't know.
involved. They
It's not
know
a no,
something.
it's an I don't know, which is an interesting answer.
They have to know something. To be like all acting cool and stuff like that. Like if my kid went missing, I'd be like freaking out. I wouldn't be going to the mall and gardening casually and stuff like that. Like they have to know something.
has told her not to talk, and she knows that anything that she says to the media could come back in the future. So I think at this point,
Thank you for joining.
Her children, her family, making sure that this episode doesn't repeat itself.
All right, next
Y'all leave me
here
your
is
thoughts
now
in
moves on
the
to
comments.
camping trip at Fort DeSoto Campground on September 6th and September 7th.
Y'all can add me
We're gonna
too.
get
I'm
back
follow
to
for
about
follow,
her visit there
by the way.
specifically to Fort DeSoto Campground in
I'm a
Palm
true
County
crime
on
junkie.
September 6th.
Let you guys know, because you don't know.
What happened? What did you guys do on the 6th to the 8th at Fort
We were at Fort DeSoto on the 6th. We got there at around 2 o'clock, and we left around 8 because the kids had school the next day. On the 6th, we only stayed for about 6 hours. My mom, my dad, my brother.
Would you guys be willing to go on?
Hold on, let me...
So her
I'm gonna
dad,
try to turn this up a little
mom, and
bit.
brother. Right, as
I'm sitting on the
everybody knows,
remote.
we've been finding out now, trickles of
So it's
information
gonna be
coming out here,
shaking.
but
I
confirming,
can't figure
that
out
they
how
were
to
there on
place
September
it on my
6th.
thing so
They
y'all can watch it with
but
me.
they were there on
So I'm holding it.
September 6th. Walt, Moss, anything to add here because we've been talking
My
now
phone's
about
kind of
the
heavy.
Fort DeSoto, camping trip here and how that is, of course, an interesting. It's an interesting point on the timeline because Brian Laundrie returns home from this cross-country road trip. He's without his fiance, and a few days later,
He is guilty as sin.
You know, and I know that question is.
I know everybody is
and
proven
this sort of, I
innocent
think,
before
is
they're
fills
guilty,
that
but
a little, more clear.
this guy,
But I
if
think
he is
others have
innocent,
pointed
he's
out
making it
that
hard for
to get
himself,
a
which I don't
campsite
think he's
at a very
innocent at
popular
all.
location, you might not have gotten it by trying to look into it on the 3rd or the 1st. It could have been something that had been planned for a while. That's part of that's a question I would ask, I think, at this point. But it sounds like, she's simply confirming that she saw Brian at Fort DeSoto on the 6th, correct? She saw him on the 6th. I don't know if we have track of him after that, but he was gone within days, right?
Yeah, I mean, that is a major point. And now let me make this clear here, folks. Cassie Laundrie would go on here after this point in time, as we understand it, or around this point in time here, as far as her confrontation here with protesters outside of her home. She did a second Good Morning America interview.
I do kind of agree, sort of, like the protesters in front of the home and stuff, with the kids being there and stuff like that. But she should take her kids out of the house. Go to a friend's or whatever.
He was in fact there. There's photo evidence of it, and there with
because you're gonna have people doing that, especially because this case is so big.
Another piece that people are just gonna dissect and put under the microscope.
Yeah, and I'm just, I keep looking down, kind of referring to the law.
And maybe the sister is out of the loop. Maybe she doesn't know anything. But I know the parents should know something because they're acting kind of sus.
After 2 o'clock, they left at 8. The Gabby incident, she says, she claims, did not come up at all. The kids were around. They had s'mores. They had dinner. And that was that. And I kind of want to find out. I think she says after that she really did not talk with them after that, but let me double check.
Who is this guy? Is that her husband? This guy right here.
I just think.
Can I make it bigger?
As would possibly investigators. That you didn't talk about Gabby at all. I mean, that's interesting. And this now on September 6th is 7 to 8 days after
What the?
her death, according to the FBI.
Yeah, from Jordan on Twitter, we'll take this hashtag AJB comment.
Hi,
here from
April.
From Jordan, hashtag AJB. If you got to talk to Cassie, what would you have asked her that the protesters or news hasn't? And it's exactly what we've all been talking about.
I don't know, y'all.
Gabby had to have been brought up.
If y'all find out what happened or whatever. Hi, April. How are you?
She was like a sister to her. She missed her.
Spam me spam me new information on this case because I'm invested.
Very, very briefly, it's referenced very briefly here in the clip. In the full 20-minute interview on WFLA.com, it's referenced very, very, very briefly, but it's not really addressed. And so my answer here to Jordan would be,
April, what do you think happened? Do you think he's hiding, or do you think he's alive, or
and I would say, Cassie,
what?
you had to have had conversations about Gabby Petito in the flight home from Salt Lake City in the September 1st.
Yeah, me too. It's bigger than the OJ. Like, or it might be as big as the OJ. I don't know. This is like crazy. I bet you when he's on trial, if they do find him, it'll be like on all the media.
Listen to the answer, right? Because now here, if you don't get, and I've heard reporters not do that at news conferences. They ask a question, they let somebody slide without really answering it. You ask it again, and you ask it a third time, you ask it a fourth time, until I think it's better explained. And maybe they didn't talk about Gabby, but I think you have to clarify that.
Yeah, you have to stay on that thread, and you have to keep things 100% focused on what matters. And there've been in the clip, in the full 20-minute interview, there's all these ancillary questions that are asked here and there's some confusion based on.
My cat loves these like pads that come into your like your, I call them your bra, brain fart, and she plays with them all the freaking time. Like, she's obsessed, and he kind of likes them too, but she's like more obsessed. He likes paper. He likes to tear up paper.
So about 2 minutes in, the protesters asked, what were you guys doing at Fort DeSoto? And Sun and Substance, that was essentially what they asked. And she said, we had s'mores, we
They're
had
shady.
And then the protester yelled, did Brian say anything about Gabby? She says, Cassie responded, we had our kids there, nothing.
They're sus.
Another person said he didn't say anything about Gabby, and she responded, no. And she immediately transitioned.
Now that's sus.
We've told the FBI
that is
everything.
sus.
The world does not need to know what the FBI knows, and that's why we're silent.
And Masa, repeat the first few words of her response there one more time. I want to hone in here on this for a second.
Okay. So what were you guys doing at Fort DeSoto? They asked that in a longer way. We had s'mores. We had dinner. Did Brian say anything about Gabby? We had our kids there. Nothing came up.
Had our kids there. Why is it inappropriate to ask about where their aunt is?
Yeah, that is. I agree. Because the kids aren't going to be like with them 24/7. They're probably going to be off playing because they're camping. They're not going to be like around them, and they could easily take them off to the side.
There's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't want to talk.
And then that is sus because
maybe I'm not going to say
unless you knew something about what happened between Gabby and Brian that you're just not disclosing to the public and not disclosing in a forum.
Exactly.
And so why, again, I'm just going to ask this one more time. Why?
I'm changing hands. I have to hold this. My phone's heavy.
Why have that response? Why say that it was inappropriate with the kids there? Oh, the kids are here. We're not gonna talk about Gabby.
Yeah.
Why is that off limits? Why is that off the table? I just, that's a major
what do y'all
point
think?
In the interview, Masa. I'm glad that you brought it up here. But let's continue talking here and playing back the clip from, again, this
Can I say one thing in response to that?
Yes, please do.
So what I would say to that, because I always like to...
She's a lawyer.
Points here.
Her.
What I would say, it could have been that the kids are running around, it's busy, we just weren't talking, we were just kind of being present, we were being in the moment, we weren't talking
okay.
If the kids are...
Maybe the kids were running around.
If the kids are running around, then okay, kids go play.
Don't send me hate Twitter mail. I'm just giving the other side in the interest of...
It's the only kind of tweets I send you.
I know.
But is it interesting the
juxtaposition
of what she said?
Calm down.
She's asked again, does she say right after that
that
I told everything?
Yes, she transitioned immediately to that. Yep.
Oh my god, they're playing.
Go to 2 minutes into the clip.
Sorry, this corner is kind of messy right now. I gotta fix it. Those are my creepy dolls. That one, this guy right here, like I seriously think he's haunted. The blonde-headed doll, the one right there. I swear he's haunted. Okay, what happened?
No braces. I wasn't so lucky.
Okay, I'm gonna get off of here, guys. Thank you for joining. Please spam me any new updates because I've been trying to keep up with this, but like sometimes I get busy and stuff, so spam me some updates if there is an update, if they find him, or I know today they made a charge. They charged him with stealing her credit card, so they're really trying to find him. And I heard, I think last week, that they're trying to find something to hold him in jail so they can work out the here, I'm going to show myself while I talk for a second. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, but they're trying to find a charge for him. So just spam me any new information, just like if you see it, it's been running on TikTok. That's where I heard the case. So just tag me in it or whatever, because I'm invested in this case now. So thank you for joining. I'll try to go on live tonight. I don't really stay on that long because this is like my 8th time. So, I'll try to go on tonight. If not, I might just take a rest day. But I'm going to try to go on live every single day. I'm follow for follow, so follow me. I'll follow you back. Thank you. Thank you for joining.
I've been talking to the family, and I've talked about this on stream. I've been talking to the potato